Are you struggling to keep your focus throughout the day? Do you find yourself overwhelmed by endless tasks with no idea where to start? Hi there, welcome back to Lewis Puzzler, the place where we transform your work habits to skyrocket your productivity. Today we're diving into a game-changing method that's going to revolutionize the way you work, study, or tackle any project, the Pomodoro Technique. Developed in the late 80s by Francesco Cirillo, this simple yet powerful technique uses a timer to break down work into intervals, traditionally 25 minutes in length, separated by short breaks. And yes, it's named after a tomato. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone looking to get the most out of your day, the Pomodoro Technique is your new best friend. We'll show you how to get started, stay motivated, and dramatically increase your productivity. So grab your timer, because we're about to dive deep into the Pomodoro Technique. We'll cover its benefits, how to effectively use it, and share some tips and tricks to get the most out of your Pomodoro sessions. Stay tuned as we unlock the secrets to working smarter, not harder. And don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on ways to boost your productivity. Ready to change the way you work forever? Let's get started. Welcome to the world of Pomodoro.
Chapter 1. Cirillo's attempts to overcome distractions. Picture the scene. A small village just north of Rome in 1987. A young man is struggling to finish reading a sociology book for his university exams. The heavy clouds outside aren't helping his mood. He has 3 of these books to finish in a short space of time, and the worry is starting to get to him. He reaches for a simple kitchen timer in an attempt to focus his mind. The Pomodoro Technique is born. After the first short burst of time, which he went on to call a Pomodoro, Cirillo found himself wanting to start another almost immediately. His confidence grew, and he knew he could finish the task in front of him. The remaining pages of the book were becoming fewer and fewer. Bursts of working time are called Pomodoros, mixed with short breaks. This technique was created back in 1987 and has helped millions of people worldwide beat procrastination. Cirillo came to realize that the distractions he was facing were completely in his own mind. His stress was focused on the need to complete the series of books, and his mind was working against him, trying to throw him off course with procrastination at every turn. This is surely a situation you've faced countless times yourself. Learning to focus isn't easy, with internal and external interruptions constantly around us. Perhaps you notice your stomach growling and decide to order some food, or maybe you hear your phone pinging, informing you of a new email. Learning how to handle these distractions and interruptions is key to learning how to manage your time more effectively. The Pomodoro Technique allows you to focus, but deal with anything that comes your way. Internal and external interruptions are inevitable, but it's how you deal with them that counts. Focusing your mind in a structured way will help. Cirillo suggests scribbling down any intrusive thoughts that enter your mind, such as the desire to check your social media channels, and dealing with them whilst you're on your break. By doing this, you're not ignoring them and forcing them to make themselves known, and you're making progress at the same time. The appearance of so many internal interruptions is our mind's way of sending us a message. We aren't at ease with what we are doing. Francesco Cirillo. Chapter 2. Are you distracted by the ticking clock? There are only so many hours in the day. When you have a lot to do within those hours, time can seem like it's working against you. It's easy to see a lack of time as a barrier towards doing what you need to do. But you can make time your friend by organizing yourself more carefully. For many people, having a deadline to meet or hearing a tick, tick, tick of a clock is a distraction in itself. This leads toward rushing your work, making mistakes, and not dedicating enough effort to the task at hand. All of these are missed opportunities. The Pomodoro Technique aims to help you align the number of hours you have available in the day with what you need to achieve. It gives you the power and stops you from feeling like a deadline is a reason to panic or procrastinate. The technique also allows you to track your progress and learn how to work more effectively in the future. time as something that is fluid and which can be used effectively. Cirillo discovered that there are two main concepts that people face when it comes to time. The first is called becoming, and the second is a succession of events. Becoming is often the concept which causes the most stress and pressure because it always seems like there simply aren't enough hours in the day. Becoming is a concept of time that leads to measuring. Example, a set number of hours before you have to leave the house to go somewhere, therefore putting extra pressure on you to complete your tasks. Succession of events is simply the things you do as part of your daily routine. Example, getting out of bed, having your coffee, brushing your teeth, getting dressed, etc. Becoming is far more troublesome because it can lead to a sense of failure. When you feel like you're not going to get what you need to get done, you can easily feel like a slave to a total lack of time. The becoming element of time often causes stress because it leads us towards counting hours and minutes, realizing that we only have a set amount of time to complete our tasks. The Pomodoro Technique is therefore designed to focus on the becoming element and to help you feel more in control, therefore reducing the amount of stress that you will feel. It allows you to focus on the task you need and to avoid interruptions during your Pomodoros. It also serves as a motivation and helps you to achieve your overall aims, whether over the short term or long term. The Pomodoro Technique has three main aims. Number 1, to help you to see time in a way which doesn't cause you to feel stressed out or anxious. Number 2, to help you use your brain in a more focused and concentrated way. Number 3, using recording and improvement tools to help you improve your performance over time. The additional good news is that the Pomodoro Technique is actually very simple once you get into the finer details. Did you know? More than 2 million people across the world already use the Pomodoro Technique to improve their daily performance. Chapter 3. The 5 stages of the Pomodoro Technique. The Pomodoro Technique has 5 main stages. Many people overlook the additional stages and simply focus on the main work blocks and breaks. However, this means you're not getting the optimal amount of benefit from the technique. The 5 stages of technique are planning, tracking, recording, processing, visualization. Using the 5 stages of the Pomodoro Technique means that you are continually improving your performance and not just getting through the day's work. The first stage is the planning stage. At this point, you sit down and work out what you need to do that day, creating a prioritized list. You then work through your Pomodoros and breaks, but track your progress at the same time, giving you important measurements on how long certain tasks take and how much energy they require. Recording is a task you complete at the end of every day, helping you to look back over your performance and identify patterns. Processing means you take the data you have compiled from your day's work and turn it into usable information. Example, learning that a set task takes you X amount of time, or that a specific distraction is a problem for you. The final step is visualization, giving you clarity of mind to focus on the following day's work. You don't need any fancy equipment to use the Pomodoro Technique. You simply need a kitchen timer which allows you to track time, with an alarm and the ability to see the amount of time you have left. You also need to have sheets of paper which allow you to track and record information. You can have pre-printed sheets or simply track information using a table you draw out yourself. All you need is a standard kitchen timer and a few sheets of paper. The rest comes from focus and concentration during your Pomodoros. Chapter 4. Organizing your Pomodoros. When Cirillo created the Pomodoro Technique, he had to play around with the number of Pomodoros, also known as blocks of work, versus the number of breaks and how long they should last. He came to the decision that a full Pomodoro should take 30 minutes, consisting of a 25-minute long work block, followed by a break of 5 minutes. A traditional Pomodoro includes 25 minutes of work and a break of 5 minutes for a cycle of 4 times. After 4 Pomodoros, take a longer break of between 15 to 30 minutes. Your first task is to identify the things you need to complete that day and write out a list in priority order. You would obviously begin with the most urgent task first. Then, take your kitchen timer and set it at 25 minutes, ensuring that you can always see how much time is remaining in that work block. Begin work and focus completely. Do not stop to do anything else. Simply focus on the task you have identified. Work blocks cannot be split, and it needs to be a full 25 minutes of work. Once the kitchen timer starts to ring, stop work, place an X next to the task you were working on, using the sheet you've drawn up, and then take a break for 5 minutes. It's important that you take the full 5 minutes and that you don't feel tempted to work for an extra couple of minutes. This break is vital for giving your brain a chance to rest and refocus, ready for the next block of work. During your short breaks, do something that benefits you. This can be getting a drink, stretching, closing your eyes, deep breathing exercises, or going for a short walk. During your break times, do something completely different from work. Go and get some fruit from the refrigerator or a glass of water. Stretch your muscles or get up and walk around. Don't be tempted to think or talk about work during this break. Once your 5 minutes are over, set the kitchen timer for another 25 minutes and get back to work, repeating the process for a cycle of 4 times. Once you have completed 4 blocks of work, you need to take a longer break. This can be between 15 to 30 minutes. During this longer break, you can check your voicemails or your emails, go for a walk, get a coffee, do some stretching, but don't do anything taxing to your brain. During your longer break, avoid anything which requires a lot of concentration. Giving your brain a rest means your next block of Pomodoros will be more productive than the one that came before. Working in these short bursts with regular breaks has been shown to be a far more productive and focused way of working than trying to work for longer periods of time. It also cuts down on the number of mistakes you make and avoids procrastination. Chapter 5. Focus on reducing interruptions. At first, you'll probably find that interruptions are hard to deal with. It's likely that you've become so used to allowing interruptions to stop your flow that you automatically stop what you're doing and pay them attention. In order to become more productive, you need to avoid giving in to these interruptions and instead allow your flow to continue. Interruptions will always come your way, but learning how to handle them and not let them interrupt your work is vital. Common work interruptions include stopping to answer the phone, checking your emails, or a coworker asking you a question. There are both internal and external interruptions you have to deal with. Internal interruptions are within your own mind. Example, intrusive thoughts and things you remember whilst you're working. External interruptions are far more common, such as an email popping up onto your screen or someone asking you to help them with a task. The key to extra productivity is learning how to handle these interruptions and not allowing them to detrimentally affect your workflow. Cirillo suggests keeping a track of the number of interruptions you face by placing an apostrophe next to the task you're working on whilst recording your Pomodoro information. This will allow you to understand where the bulk of your interruptions come from and how often you allow them to push you off course. The most important thing to remember is that you should not stop a Pomodoro partway through and change tasks. For example, if a coworker comes over to ask you to help them with something and you're halfway through a Pomodoro, you shouldn't just walk away from the timer and allow the interruption to stop your flow. You should explain to the person that you will be with them shortly and continue until the timer rings. Once a Pomodoro begins, it has to ring. Francesco Cirillo. You shouldn't allow the presence of external interruptions to cause you extra stress and simply accept that they can and will come your way. You can change how you respond to them, however. For instance, if the phone rings, allow it to go to voicemail and check on your longer break. Disable the email notification function and manually check your emails later in the day. Put your phone on silent and place it face down on your desk or in your drawer. Explain to anyone who interrupts you verbally that you will get back to them shortly. Acknowledge common interruptions and find ways to reduce their impact. Once a Pomodoro begins, you have to finish it at all costs. The Pomodoro has to be completed once it begins, and that's the vital rule to the technique. Chapter 6. Use the Pomodoro Technique to make teams more effective. The Pomodoro Technique can be used to help make teamwork more effective and productive too. This takes a little extra organization, but once the technique is implemented, it works very well to keep everyone on track. More and more workplaces are implementing the idea of teamwork in order to be more productive. The problem with teamwork is that there are often several tasks to coordinate and one goal, which can cause people to pull in the wrong direction or for work to be delayed. Interruptions are also more common with teamwork, simply because there are more people involved. Using the Pomodoro Technique is very beneficial for teams. Not only does it keep the team effort on track, but it can also reduce the number of conflicts between work colleagues, cuts down on mistakes, reduces interruptions, and helps with communication. Using the Pomodoro Technique in teamwork means the overall team aim is met whilst improving the effectiveness of the team as a whole. When using the Pomodoro Technique for teams, the whole team works to one Pomodoro, but if the team is large, dividing it up into micro teams is necessary. Having one Pomodoro for a large team simply wouldn't work, because that would mean everyone having a break at the same time. However, micro teams are able to have their breaks at the same time. Since micro teams involve only a few people, this also means that you can accommodate the individual rhythms and needs of team members. Micro teams need to be created in order for the Pomodoro Technique to be effective in this situation. By using the Pomodoro Technique within teams, you can ensure that goals are met and deadlines are not missed. Chapter 7. Time management changes your whole view of working time. Whilst the Pomodoro Technique has set rules, it's important to remember that every individual is different. You may feel tired on a specific day and need to tweak your breaks a little in order to ensure that you can continue to be proactive. In this situation, you can take the full 30-minute long break at the end of your series of 4 Pomodoros, rather than just 15 minutes. However, sometimes you might feel like you have more energy. In that case, you would simply take 15 minutes for your break. If you feel particularly tired one day, don't feel like you need to push yourself beyond your limits. Tweak your break times around and rest regularly. Cirillo also suggests that if you are feeling particularly tired, you can take up to 10 minutes for your short Pomodoro break. But never go over this amount, as it will break your concentration level. It's about pacing yourself and knowing your own limitations on any given day. You will start to feel that your perception of what time means to you also changes as you use the Pomodoro Technique more and more. You'll find it easier to concentrate, and your confidence will grow because of how productive you're being. It's likely that time will also go faster as you move into the second or third Pomodoro of the day. It's not unusual for the first Pomodoro to feel a little slower until your focus and energy levels pick up. The more productive you are, the better you feel. The Pomodoro Technique will change how you feel about time, putting the control in your hands. The ticking of the kitchen timer may cause you to feel annoyed at first, but stick with it, because the more you realize how effective the technique is, the calmer you'll feel. You'll come to realize that you're the one in control, and that you have discovered a method that really works for you. However, that doesn't mean every Pomodoro will be super productive. If that's the case, simply know that the next one will be better and be grateful for what you did manage to complete, despite interruptions or problems in that particular Pomodoro. Conclusion. The Pomodoro Technique has revolutionized the lives of many. Learning to take control of your time and use it in a way which gives you what you need means productivity is yours for the taking. The technique focuses heavily on the idea that working for long periods of time without a break isn't the most effective way. Your brain needs short breaks to focus and energize itself for the next block of work. These breaks also help you to remember items more effectively and cut down on the number of mistakes you may make. The Pomodoro Technique can be used for individuals or teams, and despite its rigid set of rules, it can be tweaked slightly to find the best route forward for you if you're feeling particularly tired on a given day. You should also use the technique to help you track and record data, which may help to make you far more productive in the future. Try this. Number 1. Focus your mind by writing down a list of all the things you need to complete and placing them in number order, with 1 being the most important. Number 2. Try using Pomodoro and assess how you feel. Did it make you feel empowered? Do you feel more in control? Number 3. Keep a list of the interruptions you regularly face and work out how you can reduce their effects or avoid them completely.